Now, President John Dramani Mahama has emphasized that African leaders have the potential to tap into a $3.4 trillion market, provided significant investments are made in the continent's infrastructure sector. Speaking on the third day of the Africa Prosperity Dialogues, President Mahama stressed the critical need for improved road and rail networks to boost trade within Africa. Daniel Odromensa has more.
Research shows that Africa requires between $130 and $170 billion annually to meet its infrastructure needs, with a financing gap ranging from $67.6 billion to $107.5 billion. The World Bank estimates that closing Africa's infrastructure gap could boost annual growth by up to 2% and reduce poverty by 25% in several regions. President Mahama believes that investment in infrastructure will generate substantial employment and opportunities for Africa's youth.
We must invest in infrastructure to facilitate trade, efficient road, rail networks, ports, and digital connectivity. We must strengthen African supply chains to ensure that our industries produce goods and services that meet both regional and global standards. We must harmonize our trade policies to eliminate non-tariff barriers and reduce the cost of doing businesses across borders. We must fast-track the full operationalization of the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System to facilitate the payment for goods and services across our continent. If we commit to these actions, we can unlock a $3.4 trillion market, creating jobs and prosperity for millions of Africans across this continent.
The chairperson of the Advisory Council of the African Prosperity Network, Nkosazana Clarice Dlamini Zuma, called on African leaders to prioritize investment in logistics and transport systems to drive efficient trade across the continent.
With poorly maintained roads, limited airline system, outdated railways, and inefficient ports, driving intra-African trade costs up by 30 to 40%. So, African countries must fully implement, 1, the single African air transport market and the Yamoussoukro decision by deregulating air services to fully liberalize intra-Africa air transport in access, capacity, frequency, and tariffs. There is also a great potential in fully exploring transportation through our maritime highways. We must aggressively implement the Africa Integrated Maritime Strategy 2050.
The president of the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, Badia, Dr. Sidi Tar, highlighted the government's efforts to create a 24-hour economy and expressed the bank's readiness to serve as a strategic partner.
Ghana's 24-hour economy vision is an inspiration for the entire continent, showing that with bold leadership, innovation, and investment, we can unlock Africa's full economic potential. At Badia, we are committed to being a strategic partner for this journey.
The Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Wamkele Meni, outlined the achievement of the AfCFTA and shared plans to launch the AfCFTA Transport Guarantee Scheme to facilitate movement across the ECOWAS region.
So again, we have said as the AfCFTA, we must reduce and eliminate this cost to our private sector. And so this year we are launching the AfCFTA Transit Guarantee Scheme, which will enable our trucks that move along the Abidjan-Lagos corridor to deposit one guarantee scheme to move across, even when they are moving from the ECOWAS region to another region. They will be subject to only one cost for transit guarantee.
The majority leader of Ghana's parliament, Mahama Ayariga, emphasized the importance of prioritizing legislative actions to unlock financing that can drive trade.
That we all know that Africa's growth and development are hindered by inadequate infrastructure, which limits our ability to trade, innovate, and compete globally. The African Continental Trade Agreement offers a unique opportunity to address these challenges and unlock our single market potential. However, to achieve this, we must prioritize legislative pathways that unlock financing for infrastructure development and efficient management of the infrastructure. These legislative pathways must develop a conducive business environment by streamlining regulations, reducing bureaucratic hurdles, and enhancing transparency. This will attract investment, stimulate innovation, and drive growth.
The theme for the 2025 Africa Prosperity Dialogue is delivering Africa's single market through infrastructure, invest, connect, and integrate. As the Africa Prosperity Dialogues 2025 climaxes today, African leaders are being urged to adopt critical measures to deal with the continent's significant infrastructural challenges. For ChannelOne News, I am Daniel Odro Mensah.